Hello and welcome to Birds on Film. I'm your host, Erica Lee, and my co-host, my co-bird, Big Dustin Wilson. We're here, we're talking FNAF today.
Five Nights at Freddy's. FNAF.
Five Nights at Freddy's. That's where I wanna be. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Let's just jump into it, okay? We're not gonna waste any time. We're on a bit of a crunch because we're gonna have a super fun Halloween party later. This will be very fun. I feel like the hype for this film was not nearly as much as other films that we've covered, right?
This is the epitome of internet culture. People who are chronically online, FNAF. But the rest of the world don't know FNAF. I think we've seen, like you said, there's not as much hype, but it's like, well, yeah, because it's just the people that are on the internet.
Yeah, it's that, like,
I'm not chronically online.
Which it turns out you didn't need any of this information. Oh my god! You're so silly. The knowledge difference between you and I is a little different since you're not as online as I am.
Right, correct. We've got like the two perspectives. Somebody who you were aware of FNAF when it came out. Like,
well, the thing is, yeah, because
you've been there through the whole journey, and I'm just catching up now.
Yeah,
I've played the first game, but just like a half hour of it, and then I watched a YouTube video about all the games.
Yeah.
Which I had no idea there were like 7. I also didn't know that the creator was a Christian man.
Very Christian.
A Christian man.
Yes.
Which does come into play in the movie. I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't know that about Scott Cawthon. But, quiet on set? No, I'm just kidding. It's PG-13, but they still said heck instead of hell. And they have this, like, very odd, like, family values aspect to it. The movie doesn't say anything.
No. It doesn't want to hurt anybody.
The movie's bad. Wait, can we say that yet? The movie's bad.
Yeah, we can say it. The movie's not good.
FNAF was bad.
FNAF was a bad film. Like, horror film, you would think would be a very easy thing to get right, and typically it is. Like, you follow the format, you get your scares, you get out, right? But just nothing happens, and the script is so bad.
So, the dialogue is bad, but in most instances, forgivable. Like, there is a certain charm to a cheesy dialogue in a cheesy horror movie, right?
Yes.
But Vanessa, her dialogue, all of her lines were unforgivably bad. Like ruined the movie bad. Her character motivation didn't make sense either. No. She didn't have a clear path. There was no reason for her to be a police officer. She stole his medication. And threw it into a river.
I think that's a big issue with the script, is motivation.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of characters lack it, or at least their motivation is not explained because you're supposed to know going in, hey, this is Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And for someone like you who doesn't know that William Afton is, like, his favorite thing was Golden Bonnie, like, you don't give a shit. You don't know that. It means nothing. And, like, Vanessa is the worst aspect of this film when it comes to that, and also performance, as you were saying. I swear to God, she's a good actress. Elizabeth Lail, she's in You Season 1 on Netflix, and she's really good in it.
I thought her acting was good. Like, it just, you can see some, but what are you gonna do
That's
with
fair,
those
that's fair.
lines?
No, that's fair,
What are you gonna do with those lines?
You don't think it's the fault of her.
No.
You think it's the fault of the direction and the script.
There's not much you could do with what she was given. Her character didn't make any sense. I swear she's a police officer just so she can say, I'll shoot you. It's like they wrote it just for that line because they wanted to, like, make a social commentary.
You've been acting suspicious.
The film follows Mike, who has these, like, weird little dream sequences, which to me are like a highlight of the film.
I didn't like them.
You didn't like them? No. They don't make fucking sense.
Right.
It's explained like, oh, he goes in there to try and find out more information about his dead brother or something. But also, like, does he take the sleeping pills to do it? Or does he not need the sleeping pills?
Vanessa is not positioned as an antagonist.
No.
She's sort of being helpful, sort of not. We figure out by the end why she was conflicted. But, like, she's positioned as a friend and a helper and, like, a good guy, and she's very anti-sleeping pills. So with that part, I was like, is this Christian?
Yeah, no. The exact line, let me pull this up, is, we used to be a perfect family, sit around the table, hold hands, and say grace.
That's...
Oh, no!
That's the other Christian aspect.
Don't put your weird, like, Christian values in my fucking horror Chuck E. Cheese movie.
You know what works for me? A warm glass of milk with chamomile and honey. I tell you.
William Afton's inclusion in the film made no sense. He just kind of, like, appears.
And we don't get, like, oh, this is the most prolific serial killer, he was never caught, blah, blah, blah. Like, we don't get any of that. It's just a guy who's like, yeah, I killed your brother, and I'm gonna kill you too, and I killed all these kids. And it's like, so you like to kill kids? Like, okay, why? No reason. The dream sequences are connected to the children's ghosts and Abby's dreams. For what? For why? How? We don't know. We don't know. All those kids who are ghosts, they don't really line up to the animatronic that they should have. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's. Freddy is the namesake. And you've got this one creepy little kid ghost who is like top dog of kid ghosts, and he turns out to be Foxy? And isn't there a kid with a hook hand?
That's Foxy. That's the Foxy kid.
No!
At the end of the movie, they show he appears like behind Foxy's curtain, and all of a sudden he's Foxy.
Yeah!
For some fucking reason. There's
What?
also
That
like
was a ginger
who's
kid.
Golden Freddy, who's Cupcake.
There's a kid with a hat in the drawings, and like that should have been
Freddy.
Freddy. Also, like, it just didn't make sense that you would position...
I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes real quick.
Sorry, hey, let's check my Freddy notes.
What sets this movie apart from others is the care that was taken with the story.
It just doesn't make sense. They're crossing their I's and dotting their T's. They set the T-ball up,
Yeah.
and then they kicked it over. Like,
Yeah.
They made a foundation and didn't build a house. I don't know how many ways I can say this.
The
It
lack
just-
of explanation to all these plot points that they're doing makes the film nonsensical and
Yeah.
not in a fun way.
Not in a fun way. No, it's not like, ooh, a little treat to figure this out. What
Yeah.
did it mean? It's like, no, that didn't make sense.
Because we're not given the clues to figure it out, because we're going in there supposed to know the knowledge. And someone like you, and also someone like me to a certain extent, like, I know a little bit, but I'm still watching the film like, okay, yeah, like, I get what's happening, but like, I'm looking at you like, you got no idea.
So you think that they just ripped some aspects from the games and tried to, like, just take pieces of the games and put them in the movie, and then it didn't make sense?
I mean, that's my guess. It happens with a lot of IPs these days. People that go in and they're catered to, like, the mass audience of fans, which is fine. Like, definitely play towards your fandom, but make a story where if you're going in not knowing about Five Nights at Freddy's, you're not sitting there like, what the hell is going on here?
Who is William Afton? Am I supposed to know who that is?
This film is going to be a fan favorite. I mean, we have such an incredible legion of fans out there. And I think one of the exciting things is that we are making this movie for them.
I would say the other, like, glaring issue I had with the movie, well, two things. My two big critiques of this movie, like, aside from awful dialogue, unclear character motivation, pacing, oh boy, that movie felt 4 hours long.
Yeah, all these scenes they drag, and the dialogue, as we said, does not help it.
No. It's supposed to be a scary movie, and it's not scary. Like, it's just not scary. There's no tension, there's no, like, anticipation.
No.
Which, Five Nights at Freddy's the game, like, the whole thing is like, oh, waiting for something to happen. Like, we don't get that. I think what feeds into that, hand in hand, part and parcel, the animatronics are neutered very quickly.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, the first interaction that we see with the animatronics where they're moving, they're, like, messing up people, right? They're killing, in some pretty fun scene.
Yeah,
like, that's what I want.
The movie was going okay. It was actually pretty good. And maybe not that creepy, but, like, it was fun until all of the animatronics, like Abby, the main character's sister, they want to be her friend, and she wants to be their friend, and... okay, like, maybe you can make that work. Like, they're mean to everybody. They're evil. Like, the brother's suspicious. Like, but they're being nice to Abby.
But they build a fort.
They have a whole fort-building montage together. Everybody's friends kicking up their heels. No more threat at all.
There's literally a scene where they're, like, staring up into, like, the ceiling, like, all heads touching each other, like, guys, this is it. What a life. Five Nights at Freddy's. Look at us.
Yeah.
All that stuff, from me personally, like, my sensibilities of what I kind of like from horror films, I was kind of enjoying it in, like, a really goofy sense. I'm like, we're turning into, like, the more camp area. And that's a place that I love to, like, dig my little nasty little grubby feet in, you know, but the rest of the film does not translate to that.
And they're not, okay, if they're not the evil in the movie, you gotta introduce it.
Yeah.
And they don't, and that, like...
there's no threat at that point.
Yeah.
The threat has been neutered, and we're supposed to be scared of William Afton, who, through all intents and purposes, the film throws at us in the last 10 minutes.
Vanessa tries to make him a little bit, but they don't, it's not enough.
No.
The animatronics are no longer a threat. William Afton is not a big enough threat to be concerned about at this point. And that's it. Like, the movie could be over. If they had just kept the animatronics a threat until the very end, and then, in a twist, it is revealed that William Afton is the one who murdered them. Keep everything the same, and they turn on him, everybody's friends, then they party.
Yes.
Oh my god. But instead, it's like, in the first half of the movie, that they're all friends and building a fort, and it doesn't make sense.
Oh, jeez, Rick. That sure is scary. Ooh. Rick and Morty.
No build, no tension, no anticipation, no fear in a horror movie.
Yeah, and these mascots, it's like you get Jason Voorhees in there, and he gets bitch slapped, and then they go out on, like, a playful ice cream date. Like, you just neutered your big guy. You know what film doesn't do that? Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland, which came out in 2021, starring Nicolas Cage, is Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's what it should have been.
Watch Willy's Wonderland, watch FNAF, and tell me they're not the same movie.
The philosophy of the films are completely different, right?
Yeah. Willy's is a real movie that has, like, a good plot and, like, a sensical twist.
I reviewed it for Spotlight September, and it's like, it's an easy, fun time. It's got a formula. It's got fun kills. It's got fun gore. That's all you need. I'm not saying that I want people fighting Freddy Fazbear in, like a like a goddamn fist fight.
Right.
But, like, something.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Willy's Wonderland establishes everything within the first couple minutes, right? Satanic group gets slashed. Nicolas Cage has to take over for one night, and we get the formula started.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's, there's a bit more establishment, which is fine, because that's how film works. We need to know how these characters are. But for the most part, I'm sitting there fucking, like, sitting on my hands, like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah. Willy's Wonderland, one night. One night at Willy's. But it works so much better. The pacing is so much better for all the action to happen in one night. In FNAF, they, like, have to be there for 5 nights. So nothing happens really the first 2 nights. Like, okay, he got a little cut on his arm. But, like, build is so wrong. There's no build.
No.
Like, escalation is not there. Like, imagine if they did, like, chapters where they actually were like, dong, night 1.
Yeah.
Night 2. Like, and things were increasingly creepy and they didn't have all the subplot of the custody battle for the sister, the sleeping pills getting thrown out, the cop accusing him of letting a break-in happen.
Matt Pat.
YouTubers everywhere!
Some people say that, but you know, it's just a theory.
Are you being paid by the word or could...
What sets this movie apart from others is the care that was taken with the story.
I gotta ask you, I got it in my notes right here.
Dustin has a bit.
I have a bit.
It's gonna be the love.
Can you name me the top 5 hottest FNAF animatronics in this film?
Least hot?
Yeah, least hot.
Freddy.
Freddy's the least hot. Whoa.
Freddy's the least hot!
Everybody's thinking about this one.
Well, wait, hold on a second. I gotta,
Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, Cupcake.
Oh, Cupcake's the least hot. Sorry. Cupcake doesn't even have a body.
Okay. Do we include William Afton? Do we include Slipknot?
Slipknot!
Springfork. Springfork.
What's his name?
So, number 5, Cupcake.
Number 5 is Cupcake.
Okay, that's fair.
I
don't know, though.
5, least sexy.
Yeah.
Cupcake.
Cupcake.
4, Freddy.
Okay, that's still crazy to me.
3, Bonnie.
Bonnie is the most aggressive.
2, Chica.
Okay.
Number 1 is Foxy.
Foxy's the hottest.
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
He does, like, you gotta appreciate it. Yeah, he runs to you, too, right? We're here. We're at the end of the line. We're at the 5th night.
We survived 5 nights.
We
at
survived.
Freddy's against our will. I would have opted out.
Can I just get my check in the mail? I don't want to come in. I don't want to work, Thelma.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
Nobody wants to work at Five Nights at Freddy's. This movie does not honk. This movie's bad. It's a bad film.
Willy's Wonderland
Does honk.
At first, I thought it didn't because I don't like the teenage sex scene.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it is a little clunky.
Yeah.
But when you compare it to FNAF, Willy's is like head and shoulders above.
Head and shoulders
So FNAF, don't honk. Willy's, go watch it.
Yeah, go watch Willy's. I mean, don't watch FNAF.
Watch FNAF if you want, but it's bad.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not anything.
You want to like...
There'll be like 8 movies within like the span of like 8 years. Just one after another.
I hope they don't make another one. I truly
Oh
hope.
god, they've already started pre-production.
You want pizza there? Who are you gonna call when games are there? Who are you gonna call when there's an animatronic bear? Come down to Freddy Fazbear Pizza Fred Bear.